Alrighty, you're live. Okay, cool. Apparently, I am live. Nobody's watching. That's fine because I'm going to try and figure out how to. I'm going to try and get this up on my computer screen so I can read the comments easier. Do do do. Okay, live now. Wow, that is a really dumb looking thumbnail.
Wow, that is a really dumb looking
Oh,
thumbnail.
okay, I need to mute this.
Oh, okay, I need to mute this.
Okay, cool. All right, cool. All right, somebody's watching, and I've got it open on my laptop this time. That way, I can see the chat. I know the last time I went live, it was a pain when people wrote a comment. It was like almost impossible to see on the phone, and it just flashed really quick. So now I've got the chat open, so I can watch that. It's really weird because I'm also on my computer screen behind me, so I see myself with like a 3 second lag. It's weird. All right, so there's two people watching now. Cool. I just wanted to go live and basically give updates to the channel and I guess what's going on in my life. This last week has been absolutely crazy. We are home from Florida. When I say home, I mean at my parents' house in Olean. Um, Things have been crazy though. I really don't know where I'm going from here. I just know I'm back from Florida for now, and I'm excited to be back in Western New York and start fishing the spots around here again. I just had a job interview up in the Thousand Islands region, so there's lots of crazy stuff's happening. So hopefully I'll get a career job somewhere is the plan. If not, I might hang out in the Olean area for a while and try and find work around here. I don't know. I don't know what's going on. I just know that I'm back here and just wanted to, I guess, give you guys the updates. I'm way behind on my YouTube videos right now. I'm like 3 months behind or something like that. It was really, really difficult to upload videos when I was in Florida because I shared Wi-Fi with three other people, and the Wi-Fi that we had like sucked. So if I uploaded a video, it killed the Wi-Fi for everybody else. It made it like impossible to watch a YouTube video while I was uploading. So it was very, very difficult for me to upload YouTube videos. When I was in Florida, I could really only upload YouTube videos if I set an alarm for like 1 in the morning and uploaded videos while the other two people that shared the Wi-Fi with me, weren't using it. And it was just a pain. And because it was a pain to upload videos while I was down there, I didn't have a lot of motivation to edit videos. So I'm way behind on editing too. And I'm way behind on uploading. So over the next 2 weeks while I'm home in Olean at my parents' house, and they have decent Wi-Fi, so I'm going to be posting videos like crazy over the next 2 weeks, trying to get caught up. There was like a month in there that I didn't film though while I was down in Florida because the weather got really, really nasty for 2 weeks, and then the aftermath of the weather, because of all the flooding, the fishing kind of stunk, and that was also when it was getting super, super hot, and I broke all my fishing rods. So there's a solid month I didn't even fish while I was down in Florida, or didn't film, I should say. But I've still got tons of videos. There's tons of videos that I want to make too, ideas that I have for different lure reviews and how-to videos and stuff that I think would be helpful to all of you. So I've got lots of ideas and tons of videos coming over the next 2 weeks. Hopefully we'll get completely caught up on the Florida stuff. I've already filmed one video while not here in the video that I filmed wasn't in the Olean area. It was actually out in the sort of in near Utica. So yeah, and I did a little bit of filming while I was in the Thousand Islands too. So upstate New York videos are coming. I'm gonna be fishing with my friends this weekend. My friends are all excited to see me now that I'm back. So oh, hello Evan. Yeah, I'd be down for that, for sure. Cool. Yeah, I'm definitely down to check that spot out now that I'm back and in town. I don't really know. For those of you that are just joining, I'm back in the Olean area. I made it home from Florida. Oh, that was the other crazy thing that happened. Those of you that follow me on Instagram know that I hit a deer on the way home. That was interesting. So, yeah. I mean, I'm not really super hardcore looking for a job right at the moment just because I've got so many other things going on. I've already have job interviews from things that I was applied for when I was in Florida, and all my friends, want to see me and hang out again. and I've got to get my car back in working order from the deer incident. So I'm going to take it easy for the next week, get unpacked, get settled, get the car taken care of, and then hopefully find a job out here. And yeah, so that's the updates with me. Um, hello up north fishing. It's good to be back. I'm glad to be back in the Northeast. Florida was unbelievably humid. You guys have no idea. So hot and just brutal down there. So, I mean, I loved it. It was awesome. You guys that watch any of you that watch my moving to Florida vlog know that I sort of lived right on the coast. So that helped. It was definitely more moderate there than it was most places, but still compared to New York, man, like, man, my parents, it's crazy. Like, they're complaining so much this week. It was 78 degrees, and they're complaining because it was so humid and muggy. But, like, I'm used to 95 degrees and humid and muggy. Like, you can't complain when it's in the 70s. I don't care how humid it is. So, yeah, it's good to be back. What do I think about the new Googan baits? Yeah, those of you that are watching, feel free to ask any questions about Florida or fishing or whatever. I haven't bought the new Googan baits yet, but I have watched a couple videos on them. Um, I don't know. I'm curious to try them. I feel like they've gotten some hate because I don't know, the way the Googans were talking about them. I think people were expecting like something super cool, where really it's just sort of their spin on baits that already exist, like the Rage Craw and things like that. But um, but still good for them. I mean, it sounds like none of these companies that like Strike King or whatever wanted to work with them. So I mean, it makes sense to market your own product, and they look like they're still really good quality and everything. I mean, most company, how many versions of the Cinco and stuff? Like, you can't hate on them for recreating something that's already been created, especially if it's better than the original. So yeah, I'm curious to try the Guggen's baits. I'll probably order a couple bags of them eventually. I do need to get some. I'm especially interested in their drop shot thing. I'm interested in getting into drop shotting, so I'm interested in the drop shot worm, whatever the Guggen spin on was that. I forget exactly what it was called. I see you, Matt. I see your comments. Can I call you? No, don't call me. I'm live streaming on my phone. Gosh darn it. That's my buddy Matt. The Cray Your Pole is in reference to um, the first and I think only fishing pole. Yeah, that's the only fishing pole I've ever lost when I was little. I've told Matt this story. I just remember my dad being like, "Cray, you got a bite," and then me turning around looking, and then my dad going, "Cray, your pole," and watching my pole like go flying up over the fork stick that it was on and into the water, down to the bottom of the Allegheny Reservoir somewhere. There's a big carp with a fishing pole on it. Yeah, it's the only fishing pole I ever lost. That was when I was like 6 years old. So Matt would always be like, "Cray, your pole," because I told him that story, and that gets me to like react really fast because I just remembered that image of that fishing pole going over the fork stick is permanently engraved in my mind. I should come to Northern Michigan. I want to go to, Michigan's a place that, like, honestly, yeah, I'm looking for like job opportunities too. I think that'd be an awesome place to live in Northern Michigan with like it's like right in between all the Great Lakes, and there's tons of water there. It looks, looking at the satellite picture, like it looks just like the Adirondacks. Like, there's lakes everywhere. So yeah, it's on the bucket list. I want to get to Northern Michigan. I want to get to Maine. I want to go out west. I want to go to Alaska. I made it to Florida though. Made it to Florida, and I've been all over New York State. So, and New York, honestly, it is a gorgeous state. And so is Pennsylvania. I've been all over Pennsylvania as well. Um, I don't like Virginia. I hit a deer there. So, yeah. Cool. It's cool that you live there. Yeah, it looks like that'd be fishing paradise up there. Anyway, how long are we into this? All right, about 10 minutes. Big thing was, for those of you that joined, I just wanted to give the update that I'm back on the southern tier of Western New York in the Olean area, currently at my parents' house. Don't really know where I'm heading for now, I don't have a job lined up at the moment. That being said, I did just have a job interview out in the Thousand Islands, so I might be going out there, but I don't know. But I'm back in Western New York, and I'm way behind on video editing because of the Wi-Fi situation in Florida. So I'm going to be posting a ton of videos over the next 2 weeks. For those of you that joined, that's, I guess, the big update. Well, the good news with the trout bite being, I imagine that the trout bite has been slow. From what I heard, it was really, really hot and it's been pretty dry. Um, the good news is, as you know, we've just got a ton of rain here in the southern tier of Western New York. So all the trout streams are like up and high and muddy right now. And as soon as they start dropping back down again, right when they hit that level where they're not muddy anymore, but they're also not like super low and clear. Like you want the color stained, right? When they hit that point where they've got a good strong flow of water and they're stained, I think that the trout are going to be like in force eating everything. So like early next week, I'd say, maybe even as early as this week, and maybe Sunday if we don't get any more rain. I think around Sunday, I think the trout fishing is going to be super, super good. In terms of finicky trout, I don't know, trout magnets. Um, yeah, it's trout can be finicky, man. Some days they're like bass. Some days they only key in on one specific lure, and you just gotta throw everything and figure out what it is that they want. And I know I'm not into fly fishing, but I know a fly fisherman will tell you the same thing. You just got to figure out what specific fly they want that day, and it's always different. There's so many different variations of flies and different ways to move them. Yeah, that's usually how it works. So I'm excited. I missed actually. I haven't done much fishing in the Olean area since I've been home. I went for those. Some of you aren't going to know where these places are, but I went to the Birch Run Ponds with my dad the first night. I caught a tiny bullhead that's posted on my Instagram, and actually all this is posted on my Instagram. Last night I went to Olean Creek, which is just 5 minutes down the road from my house, and I missed a big pike that broke me off on the hook set. I think it was a big pike. It could have been a muskie. It could have been anything. It literally almost pulled the rod out of my hand though. So I assume it was. It felt bigger than a bass. I assume it was either a big pike or a muskie. But again, I think because Olean Creek came up because of all the rain, it was in sort of the perfect fishing condition for pike when I was there yesterday. But then we got a ton more rain last night, so today it was flooded, too high and muddy. Um, but I think like this weekend it's going to be dropped down, and Olean Creek and all the rivers should be about perfect. I know out in Chautauqua County they had a lot more rain up, especially in like the northern Chautauqua County. Everything's completely flooded, so it'll probably be a while before those streams get back in good shape. No small vids are in the works at the moment, but yeah, none on the way. There's a peacock bass. There's tons of videos coming from Florida. There's a peacock bass video that's coming very, very soon. I'm excited for that. Thank you guys for bearing with me, by the way. I know these travel vlogs that I've been posting are different from what I usually post. I've got one more of those in the Keys, one more travel vlog, and then is the peacock bass videos. On my way back from the Florida Keys, I fished the Miami area and really nailed the peacock bass. So I'm very excited to share that video with you guys. And then that same day, I had an incident with an alligator night fishing, and that was insane. So I've actually already got those videos uploaded. I just need to publish them. So I'm excited for that. Yeah, peacock bass are awesome. They fight just as hard as smallmouth. They fight harder than largemouth. And granted, they're not related to bass at all. I think they're in the cichlid family or something like that. I'm not even sure, but they fight so hard. They're so much fun. I'm not really. I mean, as hot as it was in Florida when I left, I don't know. Part of me misses Florida. So again, those of you that follow me on Instagram know that I found a school of giant snook that was on the other side of the lagoon from where I lived. That I was kayaking to and like fishing for every day. I caught two giant snook, and every time I went out there, I missed a bunch. So it was insane. And this is like the last week that I was there that I discovered these giant snook, and catching those was so much fun. So I miss Florida because I know right where those giant snook are, and I know that if I was there, I'd be catching them right now. So like for that reason, I miss Florida. Like the fishing was, I don't know, the summer fishing was starting to pick up when I left. It was also just kind of annoying because my first like 5 months there, I didn't have any friends, and then finally, like my last month, I made a bunch of friends, and then it was time for me to leave. So it's just kind of sucked. But on the flip side, the weather was getting really, really miserable just in terms of the heat. And I worked an outdoor job too, so like it was the heat and the humidity was definitely brutal. And we're coming up on hurricane season, so in those ways, I'm glad to be out of there and back up here. It is so nice up here, and my parents are they're complaining about how humid it is. It is so nice for me. Even 80 degrees and humid is just is it feels awesome compared to what I'm used to. Um, I'd probably be miserable in the humid temperatures we've had this week too, but for me it's been awesome. If anything, it's been cold. Like I'm so used to it so much hotter. So yeah, I'm glad to be back home where all my friends are around here too. So I have walleye spots in the vicinity of Randolph. I know some places. You really kind of need to get your Seneca Nation license. There's yeah, all the best walleye spots in the area are definitely on the nation for sure. There are some good spots out near Jamestown, around Chautauqua Lake, um, but I don't think those spots are quite as good, and that's a little bit of a ride from Randolph. Lots of good walleye spots in Steenburg, which is just the next town over from Randolph. And it's crazy. I believe it. It's been a ton of rain. Some places there's some roads and stuff that got flooded out in my way too. Not right where I live, but over in Chautauqua County, the next county over from me in New York, they've got like some serious flooding and roads washing out and stuff too. Right where I'm at is we got actually a good amount of rain. Right where I'm at in southern Cattaraugus County, it's we got just enough rain to really bring all the rivers and creeks up, so it should create some good fishing conditions. Yeah, I filmed out. There's a wild trout. I don't know if I think they're actually stocked trout because they're definitely mostly stocked trout. But there are trout videos coming. At least one trout video that I filmed um, while I was out in the Utica area for a job related thing. Um, so uh, so yeah, that video's coming eventually. Yeah, I'm gonna post all the Florida videos first. I've got like I don't know, probably 15 Florida videos. Then I'll post that trout video. But this is going to be over the next 2 weeks. Over the next 2 weeks, I'm going to be dropping videos almost every day. I don't want to say every day because I've got job interviews and I'm still trying to unpack and my friends still want to hang out. So things are busy on specific days. But I'm going to try and get a video up every single day for like the next 2 weeks while I'm at my parents' house where they have good Wi Fi. Hello, JNC Fishing. So yeah. Any other questions you guys have about Florida or fishing or whatever? I'll stay live for I don't know, give it another 5 minutes or so. I've thought of collabing with. I mean, Tim is so much bigger a YouTuber than I am. I don't know if I've invited him actually down here in Cattaraugus County to like, in Chautauqua County to crappie fish, and he seemed kind of interested, but then nothing ever became of that. Um, but yeah, it'd be cool to definitely be cool to collab with Tim, but I think he's way above me. I don't think. I'm not a big enough YouTuber where he's going to like automatically respond to my DMs. I mean, he has what 30,000 subs, and I have 1,000. The biggest fish I fought in Florida was definitely the big snook that I caught, like my second to last week there. It was, yeah, it was crazy. As I mentioned earlier, I didn't want to. The main reason I didn't want to leave Florida was I discovered the school of giant snook that were across the Indian River Lagoon from me right before I left. But I guesstimate it was a 39-inch snook. I don't really. It barely fit in the kayak, so it was impossible to. Even though I had my measuring tape, it was hard to get a good measurement. But yeah, huge snook. I hooked into some other crazy stuff while I was down there. Um, I think that snook that I landed was probably the biggest fish I hooked, but it's hard to say. There's a lot of fish that I hooked that were scream and drag that just came off. Yeah, I never made it out to Juneau Pier when I was there. I wanted to go to Juneau Pier and try and catch a shark, but that ended up slipping through the cracks at the end. Is it lagging? That's thanks. Yeah, the Wi-Fi at my parents' house still isn't excellent, and I'm filming on my iPhone. Um, I don't really have a plan yet for this fall. My life is so crazy right now. I have no idea what I want to do. Right now, for the next 2 weeks, I'm just going to get my car fixed after the deer incident in Virginia on my way home from Florida. I hit a deer, for those of you that don't know, and focus on that and getting unpacked and catching up with my friends and catching up on my YouTube videos, um, and just doing side projects. But um, after that, I really don't know. Um, the, besides my whole career thing, so these last two internships I did, the one at Allegheny State Park and the internship that I just did in Florida, they're both AmeriCorps internships. So because they're AmeriCorps internships, I get like this education award, but because I have private student loans, which this education award you can use to like go back to school or pay off your student loans. But because my student loans are private student loans and not government student loans, they don't qualify. So I basically what I'm getting at is I have $8,000 in scholarships that I need to use within the next like 7 years or something like that. But I mean, if I was going to go back to school, it makes sense to do it now while I'm young. So grad school is an option as well. Even just going back to like Paul Smith's or Wanakina and picking up a forestry degree, I could probably do that with $8,000. So that's the other thing I need to figure out is what I want to do with the scholarship money that I have, in addition to figuring out what I'm doing. I mean, if I can get a career job with the experience that I have, that's I guess what I'm trying to do right now. But if that doesn't work, I have this money to go back to school with too. Um, so there's a potential I might even go back to school this fall. Is I guess what I'm getting at. I haven't decided yet. I'm trying to figure that out like this week or next week. There's my time to relax and figure out what I'm going to do with my life. I'll definitely be fishing the brook trout run this fall for sure. I do miss the Adirondacks too. I haven't been back to the Adirondacks. I graduated from Paul Smith College up in the Adirondacks. I haven't been there in a couple years now. I think 3 years. And the brook trout fishing up there is so much better than Western New York. Which Western New York, it's fun catching those brook trout out of those tiny streams. But it'd definitely be cool to get back to the Adirondacks too this fall. I'm hoping to maybe make that happen. We'll see. Matt, forestry degree with $8,000. Look how much it is because I have all my gen ed courses. So I only need like 1 year, like one term at Wanakina, I think would be sufficient. I don't know. I need to look into it, but yeah, you're right. May 16th for Zach's graduation. That was the last time I was up there, which I think was probably the last time you were up there too. We should plan a trip, bro. I think it's possible to get a forestry degree with. I mean, it might be a little bit more than $8,000, but it's just 1 or 2 semesters that I think I need to go for because I have most of the credits that I need already. But we'll see. I might go back to grad school. I don't know. I don't know. I got to do something with that $8,000. I'd hate to see it go to waste. I don't have kids to gift it to, so. Alrighty. Well, I think I've pretty much updated everybody on what's going on. I'm back in Western New York. Tons of videos coming over the next 2 weeks while I'm here. Any other questions before I go off air? Yeah, I'd be down for that. That's a fun thing. There's a fun time when the water when the those of you that don't know, when things first get really cold, like that first big cold snap that we have, the bass would always go into a feeding frenzy in the Adirondacks. But it's hard to predict because it happens like that cold snap comes in and then the fish go into a feeding frenzy for like 3 days and then it shuts off. It gets into like winter mode and it's hard to catch anything until ice season. So it's hard to predict exactly when that's going to happen. So unless you live in the Adirondacks, it's hard. It's tough. But yeah, I'd be down to go to the Adirondacks in October, especially like the last 2 weeks in October before the brook trout season ends on October 15th. I think that's like my favorite time to fish up there besides the spring. It's my favorite time in the fall is the first 2 weeks of October. Anyway, any other questions? We're going to go offline. It looks like some other people just joined. lastly, the update is I'm back in Western New York. I'm home from Florida. I had a deer on the way home. It was a crazy trip home. Trying to figure out what I'm going to do with my life from here. I'm not exactly sure yet, but I'm in Western New York for now, and for the next 2 weeks, I'm going to be posting a ton of videos because my parents have good Wi-Fi at their house. So videos are going to be posted almost every day for the next 2 weeks. That's the big update, and hopefully we'll get caught up. I'm 3 months behind from Florida. Anyway, guys, thank you for tuning into the live stream. Thanks for bearing with me. Thanks for bearing with me on, again, these videos I've been doing lately that have been sort of travel vlogs and not fishing. And yeah, that's going to change. One more travel vlog from the Keys trip, and then the peacock bass video, and then just tons of crazy fishing videos from there. I cannot wait to share the snook video with you guys where I caught the giant snook, and the peacock video, the peacock bass video. Can't wait to share those videos with you guys. They're coming, and yeah, we'll catch you later, I guess. See you in the next fishing adventure. All right, how do I stop this thing now? Do I hit the X button? Are you streaming? Yep.